you ready for this.
Gonna be fun.
You will not stand in my way.
Frostborn. Hunger. This pleases me.
I do not fear you, mortal.
Your soul shall be mine.
Don't make me laugh.
Need a brew? Oh, I do. Feel a shredding, baby. Let the battle begin.
Welcome to the 48th episode of Trollin HGC, Heroes of the Storm podcast focused on esports and a member of the Trolls.gg Entertainment Network. I'm your host, LiQuid, and I'm super sorry we're late, but we're here, and I'm joined, as always, by Bahgz and Goon. How's it going, fellas?
What's up? Yeah, we are getting a little bit of a late start, but I'm happy to be here because you guys didn't do the show yesterday. I had work, and you chose to do it today, so it works out. I'm able to be here. I'm very happy. Thank you.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. Glad to be here. The reason we're late is my fault. Had kids and dogs both puking earlier, so
Dude, that's horrible.
It was a mess, dude. It was a mess.
That's rough. Now I feel worse for being like, yeah, man, we'd be here, but we're giving Goon time. We're giving Goon time. Meanwhile, you're like, you got kids everywhere, dude. That's a bummer. All right, we got lots to talk about. Because, you know, mid-season brawl, boys. But before we jump into that, Bahgz, Patreon.
All right, Patreon. We, viewers, listeners, we have a Patreon. Over at Patreon, you can choose to donate $1, donate $10. It's shared with all of the Trolls.gg content creation team. And by doing so, you are able to unlock extra rewards for yourself as well as a community build toward goals where we are able to create more content for you. As well, if you plan on going to BlizzCon, we will use some of the excess money that we have left over to purchase swag and handout at the biggest expo of Blizzard's fans for the year. That was worded poorly.
That
being said,
a little bit.
We're currently at $38 of 150 towards our second goal. It's the call-in show, where once a month we'll host a call-in show where you, the viewers and listeners, can call in with your questions for the trolls. Speaking of which, LiQuid, who is this week's Troll of the Week?
Troll of the Week this week is going to be Ghost Bear. Dude hangs out in chat all the time, always talking, always providing his insights. Thank you, Ghost Bear, for being our Troll of the Week this week.
Right on. He's trying to convince everybody that Urel's good. So, I mean, we can't all be perfect, right? But
Listen, not only is she bad at heroes, she is a international space Nazi nowadays in World of Warcraft. So
she is,
keep
man.
that in
It's
mind.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. She has gone nuts.
I was gonna say she's gone dark, but she's like gone hyper light or something like that. I don't know. I don't know.
All right. Well, she's crazy. I think we can all agree with that.
You know what else is crazy?
What?
These mid-season brawl results.
Well, hold on there, buddy. Hold on. We'll get there. We'll get there. All right. We're you know what? We're gonna get there, but we're gonna get there right after we do one of these.
Tonight on the Trolls.gg Podcast Network, Trollin HGC proudly presents Heroes eSports News, Notes, and Drama with your hosts, LiQuiD and Bahgz.
All right, so let's talk just a little bit of news, teeny tiny bit, because I promise we're going to go into results and we're going to dive right in. But mid-season brawl group stage totally complete. Finished today. That's one of the reasons why we want to move it back. Yesterday we would have had a day still to talk about. Being today, group stage is done. We can cover all those results. We can talk about the fact that elimination stage starts this weekend. Well, I think it's Friday, isn't it? Technically Friday, I believe.
The 16th. What's the 16th? 16th.
Oh, that's Saturday. Okay, Saturday. Starts Saturday. And yeah, good stuff. Like, great tournament so far.
Yeah, a lot of good games. There's a lot of fun. So some exciting games. As long as you're from China or a minor region, you're happy.
Right?
Well, hey, come on.
Spoilers.
To be fair, they do have some wins, right? And those wins are exciting.
Well, you know what I like? you know what I like? Our next news story that we were supposed to cover, the fact that the East versus West All-Star matches are coming up, and we have minor region players in those.
So that's a good point,
cool to me.
right? So like, if even though if you're from China or one of the minor regions, and your team is eliminated, you didn't make it to the playoffs. Your tournament isn't over yet because we have the Mid-Season Brawl All-Star Clash coming up. Running, I think it's concurrent with the playoffs, correct? Yeah, 16th through the 18th. So, I guess while I'm here, I'll just keep going through, huh?
You know, yeah, if you want to go through, yeah, man, go for it, bro. You're already covering it. You might as well go the rest of the way down the line. Come on.
All right. So this weekend, the 16th through the 18th, we have the All-Star matches coming up. It's East versus West. The Team West, that's your EU, NA, ANZ region, is going to consist of Glaurung, Snitch, Mene, Crowan, and Vanilla. Team East is Boy 005, Rich, Wind, Hooligan, and Hugo. All right. All matches are a best of 3. Day 1 will consist of the inverted draft, which I would just say, I figure that's just a fancy way to say reverse draft.
Yes.
Day 2 is Sandbox Madness. I want to see some hyper fast Creators of the Storm
Just
style.
crazy stuff, right? Yeah, buddy.
I want to see some Creators of the Storm style
That's
matches
right.
there. And then day 3 is the surprise because it's TBA. So we do not know what day 3 will consist of, but it is to be announced.
To be announced.
Watch it be like pool party or something like that.
That actually, I would love to
dude.
see that. That would be kind of cool.
Sweet.
I support that.
Cool.
I definitely support that.
I'm just gonna go on record and say that Team West is going to win every single one of these days.
I'm pretty sure we got stomped last year, but
we did.
Hopefully
Yes.
it's competitive.
No, we're gonna stomp this year. First of all, everyone speaks the same language, and we're all really good players. There's already a lot of good players on the. And I mean, I'm not taking anything away from the East. However,
Aren't you though? Aren't you? I
there's
feel
only
like you are.
there's only so much Rich can do. You know.
I mean, but these games are like custom made for Rich, right? Like, hey man, we're gonna give you all the crazy stuff. Just do Rich things. So Rich is gonna do Rich things, and you know, we'll
or he
suffer
might
again.
just pick Murky and get it over with.
All right, yeah, okay.
We'll see what happens. We'll see.
Okay.
If I had to pick one, I would say it's probably Team East. I'm gonna go based on like I'm gonna take the team with the higher mechanical skill cap, which is, I could be wrong, but I'm gonna say that the team with the better mechanics is irregardless of the gelling and the intangibles, is gonna translate quicker to an all-star match.
Okay.
I don't know. I have no.
No, I believe you're probably right.
I'm going with my gut.
I believe you're probably right. Okay. All right. You guys ready to talk results then? Or well, wait, hold on. Before we jump into results, is there anything newsworthy that I missed? Bring up. It's okay to say no.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I think we're ready to dive into the results.
I think we just want to talk about the games.
All right.
It's the 1-for-1 trade as we once again have the Dragon Blade used on the side of Genji's. Tried that in, dashes out, sail yellow.
That was just about the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's a dance party and you're invited.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to HGC Western Clash.
All right, man. Well, let's talk about the games. And guess what? If you're watching this show and you haven't watched the group stages yet, there will be spoilers.
Spoilers all over the place. I mean,
spoilers.
It is an HGC show, and I mean,
proceed with caution.
There's only a couple things happening right now in HG in the pro scene. So
there's literally one thing going on right now, and that's what we're about to talk about. So there will be spoilers.
Yeah, if you think we're talking about LiQiuD skin concepts, you are mistaken. No,
that's Thursday night's show. You can come back for that. All right. So how do you guys want to start? You want to start in the groups? You want to start? Where do you want to do? I know Bahgz has this broke down by group and team and like how they've done. You want to go through that? And if you guys think of anything as we go through each team. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
I dig it.
All right. So we're gonna start in Group A because why not? A comes before B. And kick it off right off the top. Gen G. I mean, like, what more can you say about a team than they went 10-0? Like, right? What they dominated everybody. I will say that I agree with Bahgz. I think Tempo gave them at least a challenge in the group stage, but they still came out on top. I mean, what do you guys think? Are they the favorites going into the playoffs?
No doubt about it.
Yeah,
like, nobody was, at least in their group, nobody was even close to them. Tempo gave them a run for their money in one map period. Like that's it, you know. Absolutely. Dignitas compared to them, which would be they're probably Dignitas and Ballistics probably going into this tournament, we would have said they're main competitors.
Would we? Would we? I mean, you know who I would have said, and we'll talk about that in a bit when we get to B.
Well, based on the results we've seen already, I would say that Tempest doesn't hold the flame to them either. So I don't know. Everyone else has shown flaws, right? No one else went undefeated, obviously. No one else has looked as dominant. So I think it's pretty safe to say they're the favorite.
Yeah, the amount of mechanical prowess that they've exhibited, their
team fights have been off the charts.
Yeah, I think at one point it was like we're just gonna ban or we're just gonna draft whatever we want and just like play.
Pretty much. They've shown great flexibility with their picks, their play styles. They're just a good team. And that's an understatement. They're an incredible team, incredible players with an incredible mind for the game. And you can see just like where they're at compared to everybody else just off of those games that they've played. It's unreal. It's actually disgusting.
You know what? I really wish the language barrier wasn't there, because I would love to like sit down with Noblesse and just pick his brain for like an hour and a half and be like how much of this is what you're coaching and how much of this is just raw mechanical skill by these players, and like where, you know, just the difference, right? And that's not to say that coaches that we've talked to aren't doing the same thing, but I'm like, they're always so far out and in front of everybody that I'm just really curious. Like, what's the difference between coaching, like, arguably the #1 team in the league, period, right? They can be beat, but they're clearly #1, versus like, you know, what's it like coaching Dig, who's #1 in Europe and clearly a really great team, but they're not. They couldn't go into a draft and be like, yeah, we're just gonna take whatever, like Alarak. You know what I mean? Like, what's that like?
I mean, it's a combination of Noblesse and just the sheer talent that is on that roster. Like, I don't. My feeble mind can't even imagine or come up with like ideas as to why they're as good as they are. I just think they were created from within the game and came out and
oh my god. All right.
They were there at the beginning and they go on past the end.
We're getting into Bahgz' team freedom worship area. All right,
goodness.
So
you and Bacon, man, can start a club.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
No, they are that good, right? They are clearly that good. It's just, it's interesting. I would love to, and maybe we'll try and, assuming they make BlizzCon, try and set up like half an hour with them and just sit down and like ask questions and see what they do. Because
we're gonna have to find a translator.
There's always a translator at BlizzCon, right? Always.
I guess so. Maybe they're hovering around the team. I don't know.
We'll have to see. I would love to sit down and talk with them. Just like, tell me what your day is like. How much are you really like? Is it literally, you know, wake up, play, scrim, sleep, eat, scrim, play, hero league, scrim. You know, like, be interesting to talk to them about that.
Yep. No Fortnite, baby. It's all hots.
All hots.
I mean, that would require a lot less game watching at BlizzCon and a lot more walking.
You're right. That might be difficult for me to
pull off. All right.
All right. Well, let's. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Next team up I want to talk about is Tempo Storm. I don't know about you guys, but I am thoroughly impressed with how they performed so far. Now, there were a couple of matches where they looked a little sloppy, but for the most part, like, they were very, very competitive with Gen G. You could make the argument that they threw the Volskaya map by missing out and getting that keep towards the end. They pretty much thoroughly trounced Ballistics. It wasn't the most lopsided matches we've seen, but they were solid victories over the second best team from Korea, arguably the third right now with the way Tempest is playing. Anyway, they handily beat Ballistics, which, in my opinion, like gauging the internet's like pulse, it was pretty much the second biggest confidence boost to the NA hot scene since like last year's legendary 22-0 by Roll20. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like 2-0ing Ballistics by Tempo Storm was like, wow, NA might actually be good at Heroes of the Storm again.
Did you catch the game today?
I did not. I was
the Ballistics
sleeping.
Tempo Storm tiebreaker.
The tiebreaker. Oh my god, that game was like nerve-wracking. Okay.
No. We can talk about the game. I'm okay talking about the game. Just we're not going to go into the tiebreaker because yes. Okay. That game was nerve-wracking. I didn't watch it live, so I already knew they had won, but I did watch it, and like it was one of those games where you're like, I know they won, but dude, like what am I watching here?
There was so much passion on both sides. Yes. There's so much. It was wild. I was like, yo, we are next. Like we are seeing some next level stuff happening right here.
Well, the other thing I would give to Tempo Storm, and I'm not. I like Tempo Storm. They're not my NA team, but I like Tempo Storm. Their schedule was by far probably the roughest schedule of any team out there. And to be from NA, to have that schedule, and to still end up in the upper bracket, like, damn, they got it done, you know?
Absolutely.
Like, props to them, because that impressed me. They're a great set of guys. It's a great team. It's just that's not my pick for NA, but dude, they performed like they deserve to be up there in that bracket.
Can I just say that, you know, when we did our predictions and projections, whatever, last week, I followed my heart, guys. And right now, my heart is not it's not disappointing me right now.
My Reddit picks are so bad it's not even funny.
Oh man, I have to look at
your heart.
I don't know where I'm sitting. But
I stopped looking after I stopped looking after day 3. It was so bad. So
went poorly.
bad.
It's funny. I put a lot of 1-1 in my picks, and
so did I. I expected way more 1-1s than we got. Way more 1-1s.
So I am blown away by the amount of 2-0 set sweeps that we got. So,
but I mean, some of those 2-0s, like you look. Okay, you see 2-0 and you're like, oh man, they got bodied. But I mean,
they were close. Some of those were close.
Yeah, both matches could be very close. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I wanted some more 1-1s, right? Like I didn't want more 1-1s. That's what I picked. I expected more to be closer. Speaking of closer, the number 3 team in Korea, Ballistics, they seem to be struggling.
Struggle bussing.
So Ballistics got off to a really rough start. Obviously, getting 2-0'd and embarrassed by Tempo Storm is not exactly how you want to start out your midseason brawl when you in your heads are like, we are either the first or second best team in the world, right?
Right.
Losing to NA is not acceptable if you're Ballistics, and that's what happened.
I mean, to be fair, they're third, but yeah.
Yes, they are. Okay,
but no,
all right, fine. Based on the results from this tournament so far. But I was just saying, going into this tournament,
yeah,
you know, they did win the Eastern Clash. I don't know how Tempest did there, but I don't think they did. It's fair to say they haven't hit their stride yet. They did 2-0 Fnatic though, and they looked a lot more solid there.
I can't believe I'm going to say this. Hold on, but Fnatic looks really bad right now.
They're super inconsistent.
I love Fnatic.
They're inconsistent. That's what. Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's a better way of saying that.
Because
Because
they're
they
driving me nuts.
They look bad. You know what I mean?
Well,
they came out looking hot, and then
they have days, right? They have days, and then they look like, and then they have. It's not even days. They have games where they're good, and they have days where they're games where they're bad, and it's like so back and forth. It's a struggle. But Ballistics 2-0ing them.
Ballistic pummeled them too.
That was Ballistic's game. Like they were pretty in control of that game for the most part. But I don't know, man. Like I expected Ballistics to do better than they are, and I feel like they're struggling the same way that Fnatic is struggling. They're both really inconsistent right now.
They're kind of mirroring each other, even though they're from different regions.
Yeah.
Each other. Yeah, I would agree.
I don't know. I might be the only one on this, but I feel like Quacknix is like actually playing. He's
playing better than he has all regular season.
Yeah, and I'm just like, dang, feels bad. And Bad Benny is still feeding. So I mean, there's that.
All right. So from the beginning, I've always said I cannot believe they're gonna swap, and I know it wasn't a swap. So please, everybody watching or listening, I understand that it wasn't a Wubby for Bad Benny swap. Okay, I get that, but like, as a viewer watching Wubby, arguably one of the best, if not the best solo laners in this game, get swapped for Bad Benny.
Use the word. You can use the word replace because that's what it. That's exactly.
Yeah. Right. Replaced with Bad Benny. Like, what? No, that's bad. No, I can't wait to see Wubby go up against Gen G. That's what I'm waiting to watch, because that's gonna be fun. Because I think that's going to be that solo lane. Like I'm kind of disappointed that I can't. I'm gonna have to watch just the replay, because I just want to watch the solo lane for like that whole game.
We got it last year at the BlizzCon Grand Finals.
It was crazy. It was crazy then, and it's gonna be crazy now.
Yes, I agree. So, I guess we kind of like talked about we talked about how Fnatic mirrors Ballistics. They're both really inconsistent right now. Like Fnatic got off to a great start, but they also had an easy schedule, right? They went up against Mindfreak in the beginning of the tournament. They did 2-0 Tempo Storm, and this is after Tempo had beaten Ballistics 2-0, and after Tempo had played a really competitive set against Gen G. The argument against Tempo Storm there, though, was, listen, they played the first match of the day, and they had to play the last match of the day, and by the time they got Fnatic, they were just shot.
Right.
Do I want to make excuses for what happened? No, but that's got to be a factor, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, is that like, do you put an asterisk on that win for Fnatic? I don't know. Maybe that's just my NA bias, probably. But whatever.
Yes.
A win's a win.
But like after that, then they had to finish with a tough set. Like they had to play Ballistics and Gen G at the end of the group stage, and they just got crushed by both those guys. So I don't know where Fnatic is at right now. It's hard to say because they're inconsistent. Just like we said about Ballistics. So it's if you are a Fnatic fan and you were hoping that things would just turn around from the mid-season brawl after like a really rough up and down phase one, I don't.
You're out of luck.
You are sweating bullets right now, and you're probably down in the dumps because you're just like, this roster as it is it not going to repeat. There's no way.
No.
So
it's sad. It's sad for me because I love Fnatic, but honestly, I think they're out. They'll get
in short order. I mean, we'll talk
about
it
out
more when we get to the preview, but like, I agree. They're not long for the playoff stage.
Oh, I can't wait to get through the preview too, because there's so much juicy stuff to talk about when we hit the preview. But let's keep going, because now we have the minor. Okay, I'm gonna say it, and it's not entirely true, but I'm gonna say we have the minor region teams next. Even though China, based on their performance, I'm counting them as a minor region here.
Heck yeah!
So we have Mindfreak.
Train, LiQuiuD, join me.
Now, I mean, look, Mindfreak did good, all things considered. Mindfreak did good. They were in a tough group. Like, Group A was the toughest group. As much as I'd love to say Group B was with Tempest there, Group A, 100% toughest group. I think Andre was playing for the 1, if I remember correct, so they were rolling with a sub. So you had just 2 minor region teams that really struggled. Mind Freak, they got a couple of games won when they played the 1. Beating them 2-0, and that was what they got. So, I really hate to say this because I like China, and I think China has the ability to do better, but I don't know how many times I can keep saying that on this show before I just have to give up. Like, it's like broken record, man.
China is just gonna China. Like,
I mean,
at this point, that's just what it is.
We did see Challenge bust out Probius against Dignitas and just go full China and then pay for it because
it worked.
It did. No, Dignitas busted out Valir in response and like deleted Probius.
like
I love Valir, but even that was like, I was like, wait, what just happened here?
Like the whole thing with China, like to me, my pleb random dude on the internet perspective, I don't know anything. They just play the game to play the game. They probably scrim. They just do what they do. They don't look to really innovate or do any. They've been playing the same game for how many years at this point?
Right.
And I mean, everybody else has evolved and continued to evolve, and you still have China. We're gonna bush meta you, and you know what? That doesn't even really work so much anymore because
the Chinese bush meta is dead.
I mean, it worked. I feel like once they caught some people off guard, but
right.
Everybody's looking out for it. People are doing it to each other. Like,
well, everybody's adapted to that being what it is, right?
So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's sad. It's sad because like the Chinese watching the Chinese games are a lot of fun. They're hilarious.
Right,
it's like watching My Hero League games, you know. But
it kind of is like watching that, isn't it?
No, it's really cool. Like so when like last year when E-Star in group stage busted out like that really like all in on the Vala comp or the I believe they did the Illidan tank comp with the Abathur like solo heals, like some crazy comp like that, and like Chu Yu was just popping off, and it's really, like you said, it's really entertaining, and sometimes it does, like, I don't know, it does win games, but last year it got figured out by come playoffs and it was destroyed. It was like basically cheese at that point, right? They got figured out. And this year, it just nothing worked. It was just like they just didn't have it. They weren't even close.
And they can't even use the excuse that they had visa issues either, right? Like, one player,
yeah.
One player from what team? The one? I think it was.
I think it was the one.
So it doesn't even matter, right? So
Wait, hold on. I just said right, and I was like, it rolled off. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. No, you're right. In fact, Andre played really good. It wasn't like he wasn't playing well and meshing well. The dude looked like he belonged on the team. So like, okay, yeah, you can say you had a visa issue, but they still looked good.
Yeah, and I just. When you're looking at these games, you're looking at the way the players on the Chinese teams respond to one another, respond to the opponents, what their synergy looks like to that of what the other teams are looking like.
Yeah,
the other teams are playing like better teams. I got a bunch of high level, high mechanical skill Hero League players on one team, and I've got a high level team on the other.
Right. Yeah.
So
well, that's what we seem to see, right? And that's kind of where I was going at. Oh, that would make sense, Olset. If it was just a roster change and not visa. All I knew was that he was not on the roster phase 1. Mind Freak, and I want to go back to Mind Freak for a minute because, one of the points that Bahgz was trying to make to me earlier this year was that ANZ is actually as good or better than China. And if we look at, the results, there's something to be said for that.
I mean, at least they're better than the one, which is the second best team from China right now. So, Like,
it's not like CE looked great either. So it's not like, you know, the one in CE were actually pretty close to each other skill level wise, I would say. So yeah. All right, let's.
Yeah, I was gonna say real quick to
Yeah, go ahead.
I guess we're moving to Mind Freak, right?
Well, both of them kind of. We kind of merged the two.
Okay,
minor regions together.
I was gonna say I wanted to see some more spice. They kept talking about all these secret cool strategies, and like
they played 32 heroes. Like, doesn't that count as spice?
I mean, yeah, they played 32 heroes over the course of what was it? What's that? 10 games.
Yeah,
but like, I mean, it's not like I was seeing.
Were you like hoping for something? Yeah. Okay, all right.
You know,
okay.
like it's all pretty standard stuff for
Goon was looking for the meme comps, all right?
He was.
That's what they were hyping it up to be.
He was looking for the real Nexamania.
I mean, I was expecting Method to bring some of that, but they didn't. Honestly,
I mean, not to take anything away from this guy. I think they played as they played as well as they could, given the circumstances, right?
Right.
But if you're telling me you're gonna give me something, bruh, give me something. Give me something.
Well, so like,
you first pick Task Tracer, Resident Sleeper. Haven't seen that before. You know, like
yeah. No, I get it. I get what you're saying. It was some weird drafts though, but yeah, no, there wasn't any like, what did I just see drafts really, other than Rich playing Hammer the first time. That was
okay,
crazy. Yeah. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, but they can do that. They can pick Murky,
right?
Probably.
I don't know. Murky might be tough.
I don't know.
All right, well let's jump into Group B. And I'm gonna take a little
tribe about this
little victory lap here. My boys in Tempest going 9-1. The number 2 team coming out of Korea going 9-1. No, all right. All of phase 1, I'm like, Tempest is gonna hit it, man. Tempest is this is the team. This is my team. Tempest is gonna do what they need to do, and they've struggled all of phase 1. And now they're there. Now they're kind of hitting the points I want them to hit. For the most part, there was a couple of times where they looked like they were backsliding into the old Tempest, but I feel like their minds are in the right place and they're hot and they're looking to win, man. There is no way Bahgz would have ever agreed to them 2-0ing Dig. Method maybe, but Dig?
No, not in a million years. Listen, I can't remember the picks exactly, but I'm pretty sure I had Dig 2-0ing them and then them splitting with Method. This team, like you just mentioned, they're hot. Like this team is known for consistently being inconsistent. They get hot and then they hold it for a little while, and they are like, because of the ability when everything is clicking for this team and the way they team fight when these things are clicking, that like they go from being like DirecTV and cable. And I've made this like that was old commercials. And I've made this a comparison before to back in the day about Naventic. Like,
whoa, hold on. They are not in the same vein as Naventic.
Yeah, Tempest is on a whole nother level. Like DirecTV Tempest is like, yo, maybe we can beat Gen G. And then like Cable Tempest is like, maybe we don't belong here. So right now we're getting DirecTV Tempest, and it's great. It's great. I love it.
This is the Tempest I've been looking for.
When they're cold, it's worse than Cable. They're like
it's like an antenna on the back of the house, right?
Yeah, they're fixing the rabbit ears.
They're trying to like watch their favorite show on YouTube, but you can't find it because it's copywritten, you know.
See, now I agree with Argy.
Like handheld recording of a TV.
I agree with Argy in chat. DirecTV Tempest can beat Gen G. They can do that. So all they need to do is hold out for a couple more days. Couple more days, boys. You can do this.
We'll see.
Right?
We'll see.
It's awesome.
Keep
I'm so happy. It's like the Tempest that I've been talking about all year is finally playing. It's great. It's great, Bahgz.
We'll see how long it holds up.
All right. Well, since clearly I love Tempest, why don't you guys take Dig?
Goon, I'll let you grab this one.
So Dig, I was expecting them to come out hot, guns blazing, fresh, looking clean, nice new haircuts, hairdos. It was a little rough. It was a little rough. The best team from EU looked out of sync in both maps versus Tempest, and again when splitting the set versus Method. Okay,
Right?
Like, I'm over here thinking they're just gonna blast them.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Maybe they had some bad breakfast or something. I don't know. Like,
I couldn't believe it that they dropped the map to Method, because this is a Method that both times they've played Method this year, crisp, easy 3-0s.
Were they?
well, and anytime
I
they
looked
played
it up.
any EU game, EU
Period,
team,
pretty
really,
much, right? Like they were just a team that was so dominant for almost 6 months, right? Just got off to really got off to such a rough start. Like Goon was saying, like I couldn't believe it. Like watching that set against Tempest, they just seemed so out of sync, like not on the same page. Like they had the Wombo combo comp in game 1 and they just couldn't land anything. Like the ley line seals were just abysmal. The lightning breath from Diablo was like,
it missed. It whiffed completely.
It was whiffling.
Yeah.
It was
whiffling.
It was whiffing or tickling. It was just
a little of both.
It was whiffling, like straight up whiffling, because it just didn't have it didn't have big impact.
Right.
They weren't able to land the Wombo combo. They seemed out of sync, and then dropping and that was just against Tempest, and then splitting the set versus Method. It was like, what's going on here? Yeah. Now that being said, they were able to finish the rest of the group phase against some of the weaker opponents, arguably, by 2-0ing everyone else and finishing in second place. They did finish in the winner's bracket, just not where we expected them to finish in groups. We expected them to pretty much dominate Group B, similar to how Gen G did, and it didn't happen. So I guess we'll see if maybe they righted the ship, maybe they were on a little bit of a tilt, and Nabi was able to talk him off the ledge,
Nabi definitely talked him off the ledge, 100%, right? Like that's what he does.
So, the good way, come back off that ledge,
right,
step away from that ledge, not, the other way around. But, no, they definitely cleaned something up, and whether that was the coach or amongst themselves, I'm sure they like I said, they probably had some bad food or something.
Right,
they were probably tired, but no,
maybe the hair dye and Snitch's hair was affecting his shot calling.
Dude, what is up with that hair dye?
He's just trying something new, all right?
Well, he's trying. He's trying something, and it's definitely new. I mean,
it's that. No, that needs to go, bro. That needs to go. Sorry, that needs to go. Shave it.
But yeah,
shave it all off.
I'm expecting Dig to
Are they going to bounce back? Do you think so?
Yeah, I think so. They're like, okay, we're this wacky group stage is over with the weird times, and now it's bracket phase
stage.
Yes.
Yeah,
and this is where it gets hot.
This is where Dig shines, right? This is the team that.
Well, this is typically where they do better.
That's what I was going to say. Turn into a diamond under pressure. You know, they have always shown well at lands. BlizzCon 2017 notwithstanding, but so
I would agree.
I expect them. They were my dark horse pick to win it all. I will look at I'll make my pick in the preview stage, but I expect them to bounce back as well.
I think, yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna go with that.
Well, let's talk Method.
All right. So Method kind of they were a big surprise in the beginning, especially Goon and I were pretty harsh on them last week. This team is inconsistent. They're garbage. They've got people leaving. They're falling apart. Right? They
are, but
but they started out really well, right? So they 2-0 CE, which at first glance was okay, that's good. That they 2-0'd the best team from China. Upon further review, it's not a big deal, right? But then splitting the set with Dignitas was oh, what's going on here, right? And then it was just all downhill. So they were 2-0'd by Tempest. They ran into that buzzsaw. and then they split with Heroes Hearth 1-1. Ultimately, they did finish ahead of Heroes Hearth in the standings.
Yep.
But if Heroes Hearth would have 2-0'd CE this morning, that they would have been going to a tiebreaker. So very, very interesting. I really don't know what to expect of Method in the next round, except maybe they're going to go the way of Fnatic. I don't know. We'll see. What do you guys think?
I think Method gets pumped out early. Let's see. So they're, I don't. Well, you know what? We'll go over that when we hit the previews. Let's hold that one for now. All right, Heroes Hearth. Man, they looked good when they first got in. They looked dominant over Luna Meow. I mean, it's Luna Meow, so what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And even 1-1ing with Tempest, I was like, that's cool. Like, Tempest stomped Dig, and I expected Tempest to do really well. So, you know, splitting 1-1 with Tempest to me was a win. Watching Heroes Hearth, but then they couldn't split with Dig, which surprised me, and they just they couldn't quite get the wins they needed to. I think they're still in a good place. I think they can still do good things from here. I just don't know that they can go far enough to get into the grand final.
They need to. I have faith that they can do this, and I think they have the skill, the talent to do so. But they need to make some serious improvement. There are a lot of silly mistakes that they're doing. There's a lot of little things that they're doing that is getting punished so hard.
And I don't even want to say it's not like they're throwing either. They're just making mistakes. And
it's just like little things here that are allowing your opponents to get back into the game or get an edge over you.
Right.
And I don't know if they're getting caught up in the moment of being in the land, kicking some other kids' ass.
I was going to ask you that. Like, how do you think this is a team as a unit? Now that as individual players, they have all played on lands before, but as a team, as five, they're pretty much their land experience is the previous Clash. This is their first international as a group of five.
Right.
How much do you think that factors into it? Do you think experience factors into that and what's happening? Do you think that there is more pressure from the North American fan base now because, you know, going into the Clash, they had very little expectations, but based on how well they've played in the second half of Phase 1, is that weighing on them maybe?
Expectations? No. That is a good point. McIntyre tweeted earlier today or yesterday, I can't remember, saying that the pressure from the expectations that fans have for that team, it takes a little toll.
It takes a toll, I can imagine. Well, you know what it is? They are the Cinderella story. They came from the Open Division. They qualified for the tournament. These are outcasts that banded together to put together a team that became a fan favorite, that got signed by a fan favorite Heroes website, climbed through the Heroes HGC standings, qualified for the Clash, climbed some more, now qualified for the midseason brawl, beat Tempo Storm in the regular season. Like, people are really behind this team right now. They have a great story, but that does apply a lot of pressure on them.
So
I wonder how much of that is a factor.
I mean, it's got to be, right? If you think about it, it's got to be, because especially with the simple fact, like, ignore the rest of the pressure. They're are the only team sitting at over 1 million bits right now. The only team.
They are extremely
right. You got to be feeling that.
Essentially, they are essentially this year's Roll20, right? They are the fan favorite.
Yes. No, they are. That's probably the best way to describe them.
So, I was gonna say, like, all the we're talking about the pressure and expectations and stuff. I think what separates the next tier, the higher tier of teams from a team like Heroes Hearth is those that next tier, that next level understands that they have their fans, they have those expectations. However, they're able to, I don't want to say tune it out, but they're able to channel that energy and that focus into playing the game better, being and just being as sharp as they can Whereas a team that's like Heroes Hearth, they're new, they're fresh, they're young. You know, like this is really exciting for them.
You know what it is with
they're
teams
living
like
in that
Dignitas
moment.
and Fnatic and Gen G and Ballistics. There's a been there, done that factor, right? Like there is a like. They have that fan base, those big fan bases, but it's not quite the same because fans, you know, like Heroes Hearth is the hot new thing. These guys have been there, right?
Yeah.
So that's part of it too. And it's just, maybe it's like an experience thing. Maybe it's just a matter of playing with that pressure over time. Again, like you were just saying, I don't know. Now that being said, Heroes Hearth did qualify for the playoffs. They pretty much finished. Not where I expected, but probably where the majority of people expected, fourth for their group, right? I expected them to finish in the winners bracket because just based on how hot they were playing at the end of phase one, and I just really believed in the mojo that I was sensing from the team, right? So it's not that they didn't have a good group stage. We're just kind of lamenting on it seemed like the potential for them to do so much more was kind of missed out. That's all.
Yeah. No, I get it. All right, let's see. That's so CE. All right, well, you know what? We're gonna do the same thing. China in the minor region, basically, they struggled. Well, I mean, Luna Meow clearly struggled. They couldn't get.
Honestly, I was
going.
surprised by how poorly they played.
Yeah.
Now, Luna Meow isn't the old Please Buff Arthur squad. It's
That's
a different
like 3/5 of them. It's
But,
either 2/5 or it's 2 or 3 of them.
Soul Torturers, I believe, is the old 3/5 of Please Buff.
Is it?
If I remember correctly, I could be misremembering, but I don't think I am. That being said, Taiwan traditionally is like the best minor region, like even better than ANZ, and they just didn't look it. They couldn't play spoiler to some of the to like, and it's historically they'd be playing spoiler to Heroes Hearth and would have like knocked Heroes Hearth out of playoff contention. They just looked bad. CE was not much better. Like the only team they beat was Luna Meow, right? They split with Heroes Hearth and they just got 2-0'd by everyone else. I mean, we did get the Probius pick, so that was cool. Like Hero Physio, I'm sure was happy to see that. Right.
And you were right. Sorry. Soul Torturers was PBA.
So, I don't know if you guys have any thoughts or anything else to add to either.
No, I mean they struggled, and it was clear that Taiwan wasn't ready to show up.
China's gonna China, and Taiwan minor region feels bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have rather seen 2 ANZ teams, to be honest. Instead of I would have dropped Luna Meow for another ANZ team.
Which brings me to this discussion point I wanted to start with you guys, and before we dive into the
no, this is a good point. Let's do that one because this is a much better segue. So go ahead. So
based on the results, McIntyre brought it. I mentioned it on Twitter a while back, and we mentioned it on the show shortly after that tweet went out when we had him on. And should NA and China be sending a third team? Should we not invite minor regions at all? Should we be inviting both LATAM and Brazil? Or should we go up to 16 teams? Like there's an argument to be made, and NA felt this, like EU fans have always felt this way, that EU should get other teams in there because they're such a deep and competitive region. Now, Mac mentioned it. Now he wants a third NA team at midseason brawl because there are qualities like Team Octalysis. You can make an argument that, if maybe they got hot this tournament, they'd be doing even better than Heroes Hearth, right? Like there's an argument to be made for that. Now they didn't earn that spot, but if it was there for them, there's certainly they probably would have been more competitive than CE or Luna Meow or Mind Freak or the One. You know what I mean? That we would have seen more 1-1s and less 2-0s, right? So, that's the argument for sending a third North American, a third third maybe Chinese team.
So,
how do you go ahead?
So, a couple of things. One, I don't think there should ever be a third Chinese team ever. I think China should be limited to 1 at this point. I love China. Yikes. I think China should be limited to 1. China doesn't take Heroes as seriously as other regions. I think China takes it about as seriously as ANZ does at this point. I'm going to leave LATAM out of this because I think they have their own struggles. So I don't want to go into the Latin American scene. I think there's a lot of things Blizzard needs to fix there. But I would almost say take Southeast Asia, Taiwan, and China, put those 3 together, and only one team gets out of it. That's what I would do. And then I would also say, okay, let's take ANZ. I think ANZ takes it very seriously. I don't think the quality of the play is there yet for a variety of reasons, but I think they take it as seriously as we do in NA. From a competitor standpoint, I don't think the infrastructure is there, and I don't think the understanding and support of esports as a career is there yet in ANZ, but I think the teams themselves take it as seriously as NA teams do, to the point where they have an open division and they have a Premier League. Right. I think they need a little more competition, so I think the only way to help that, like, how do you help that? How do you improve a competitive scene? You have to give more of the teams the ability to go and get their asses kicked and try to learn from that, right? Mindfreak learned a ton being up here. I don't think they're going to be a great team anytime soon, but they learned a ton being up here. Skimmy said that like 4 times. Like, yeah, I love my region. They're not going to do great here, but they've learned a ton being up here for this 2-week period, right?
Well, that, you know, there's a bunch of other issues involved with that too. Like,
right.
We can get into that's a
whole show by itself, man.
Yeah, but I mean, I will say this: if the player base isn't there in a region, it's going to be very difficult to get better. You got to have people to play with to begin with.
Yep,
you know?
I agree. Completely agree.
So,
but in the other, I do like the idea of maybe going to 16 teams, but it's already a struggle to get it done in time. They literally get like a day and a half's worth of rest before they have to go into elimination round. So are you going to like get rid of that completely? Like, that's a struggle.
I don't know what the solution is or how the logistics would work to fix it. My preference would be for 16 teams. I think you do the wild card now still to try and get the best of the best minor region teams there. And I think you just invite a third Chinese and third NA team. I know are we radical enough to say that China's a minor region team now and force them to play in the wild card as well? Like, I don't know.
No, but I like Argy said something similar. Put the top ANZ teams into the playoff
for a major region.
Yeah. So the NA playoffs,
put them in like the step ladder playoff.
Yeah. Take the top 1 or 2 teams, right? So instead of seeing I can't remember what it was, the Latin America Brazilian finals. I'm totally going Intercontinental Clash. Instead of that, take that, pop it into, maybe they're the first step, right? So like that's the first step. Those 2 teams play each other. Winner moves on to play number 6, and then number 5, and then number 4. Earn your spot.
That is kind of rough.
As much as I would love to see that requires one major thing to happen: a LAN to happen for that
playoffs, dude. You got that Blizzard Arena? Use it. I've been saying it for years.
Well, no, you don't necessarily have to LAN them, right? You would have to put the ANZ and the Blizzard teams up somewhere in the States or even Canada, but you don't necessarily have to do a LAN.
I mean, if you're gonna bring,
it should be a LAN.
If you're bringing these guys to NA to play in what could potentially be just one series,
yeah. But you're already bringing them to Brazil.
Yeah, just bring them to Burbank. Come on,
just bring them to Burbank.
I wonder if that do we have the time? I mean, is there
It's
time?
2 more games. It's literally only 2 more games.
I mean, okay, it's 2 more games.
No, it's not even 2 more games. It's 1.
What about like visa issues and things like that? Like, the visa process.
District. that gets a little trickier, but it's Australia. It's not like ANZ would have a hard time getting in. Yeah, maybe the Latin American guys, but it's not. It's ANZ, dude. Like, Stamp, have a nice day. You know what I mean? Like, but it's an idea, right? It would be pretty cool. It's an idea.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. That would be cool. That'd be cool. And if they make it cool, if they don't, then all right, whatever.
Right, but that helps. That would help you determine. And then maybe you say, okay, that's the way. That's your path in. We send 3 NA, right? We send 3 NA, 3 EU, 3 Korean teams, and
or it could be 2 NA and 1 ANZ, or 2 NA and 1 Latin America. That would be interesting, and then you could also use that as a tool to gauge what the bottom half of like a major region's
compares to the top half of a minor region. Right.
Yeah, no, that's a good fix. It's a good fix logistically. I don't know if it's possible, but I like it.
Just so we're all clear, props to Argy for that, because he put that in chat, and I love that idea.
Oh, wait, no, that was me. I don't know what you're talking about.
I got your back, man. I know who said that first. I love that idea, actually. That idea is awesome. I would love that idea.
I dig it, right? Yeah.
Right, yeah. All right. Let's talk tiebreakers. All right. So we had TS play Ballistic today, and Tempo Storm won, but the very fact that they had to play, Soken was like, man, you guys got to talk about this on the show. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I have no problem talking about this on the show. But before I say that, or before we talk about it, I want to double check the rules. And I double checked the rules, and the rule literally just says, if there's a tie between 2 teams, they play each other 1-on-1. Or a best of 1. And I'm like, I'm looking at that, and I'm thinking about Soken's comments and working it through my head. And I see no reason, like, if it, like, before you even get to that point, it should be, what was the head-to-head result? That needs to be the first tiebreaker every time.
It should, right? Because if it's coming down to 2 teams that are playing, and that tiebreaker is like, well, if this team has already beat you, like, that should just
that's
be
it.
Enough.
You won. Congratulations. You've won, right? Like, that's how it should be.
Unless I don't know. It's a conspiracy against NA. That's what it is.
Well, no, like, to be fair, and this was the point I was making to Soken on Discord earlier. The rules are clear, right? So it's not like they were like, oh, there's gray area in the rules. Like, we're gonna leave it up in the air. Like, the rules were really clear. But honestly, I go back to other sports, and not even just other esports, just other sports in general. When you have like soccer tournaments and hockey tournaments and football. Well, football doesn't really do tournaments that way. But when you look at those things, if you play a round robin like this where every team plays every team, the first tiebreaker is always the head-to-head. Always. Without fail, head-to-head. If you tied in the head-to-head, then you go to another tiebreaker. And in this case, I would have been okay saying, all right, well, we went 1-1 in the head-to-head, so now we have to play a tiebreaker match. Right? Cool. Let's do that. I don't understand why that was left out of the rules this time at all. Like, I'm just flabbergasted by that.
Oversight? Or maybe they're like, no, it's more exciting. Let's get a best of 1.
But it's not. Yeah, it's like the opposite of exciting. Like, do you know how like, and the same, you know, I'm looking at this as an NA fan. Like, I would have, and Tempo's not even my NA team, like I said earlier, but I would have flipped out if Tempo was pushed down into the bottom bracket. Or, God forbid, they had been eliminated from the tournament because it was for that 4th place spot. Because of that. And to be fair, I wouldn't blame Ballistics people for feeling that way at all. Especially after Ballistics people already feel shafted because they lost their number 2 seed to Tempest in that bogus playoff that they had to play at the end of the season anyway.
Yeah.
You know, I can totally admit to that. Bahgz, that did suck for Ballistics to lose their number 2 seed, but they did. But, you know, like, I don't know, man. I'm just, like, head-to-head should have been the first tiebreaker. Or am I crazy?
No, it should have. But, you know, it wouldn't make the victory as sweet for Tempo Storm, considering all of the struggles that they have endured this tournament, having to play that tiebreaker game, it only seemed logical at this point. And
all right,
sweet. The victory was sweet, and it's going to make their next victory even sweeter. You know, and it's not ideal. We don't want that to happen, but I think they can use that as a strong motivating factor.
I'm sure they can. I'm 100% sure they can. I just personally, I think it needed to be head to head was the first tiebreaker. I do. All right.
I agree. I think that that it was a missed opportunity. That the only time that they should have had the tiebreaker is if Tempo Storm and Ballistics finished with similar points and they had tied in their set, right? But since Tempo Storm had handily beat them 2-0, should have went to. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Everyone got to go to the playoffs anyways, I guess, right?
Right.
So,
all right, let's talk meta. There's been some crazy stuff. There's been some stuff I expected. I need to add one more hero down here. Thank you. Thank you. Props to MasterLeague.net for A, tweeting out a whole bunch of cool stats for us to use today. And B, for just having everything. So MasterLeague.net, check out those stats. Now sponsored by Team LiQuiuD, but check out those stats.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of stats there. You can look at past tournaments. You can look different patches, and then you can even see the VOD. They'll put the YouTube link in there.
Yep.
And they will also upload the replay file. So if you wanted to download the replay file, you can do that as well. Open up Heroes of the Storm, click that little file, takes you right into the replay, and you can see the game. You can see the game from every player's perspective.
We definitely can't say enough about them. And if you're not watching this live, Bahgz just put the link in chat that goes directly to the Mid-Season Brawl tournament. If you're not watching this live, it's in our show notes. Go grab it. It will link you directly to the tournament, so you can just look through things that have happened at the tournament instead of doing your own filtering. But let's start with top 3 maps, because this is not. I would not have picked these to be the top 3 maps. But Infernal Shrines has been played 13 times. Volskaya Foundry 11, which completely shocked me that teams other than NA were picking that. And Tomb of the Spider Queen 10 times.
Fairly standard maps, 3 lanes.
I will say, I believe EU and NA both like Volskaya, so it's not super surprising for me, especially now since they fixed the Triglav. I am surprised that the lack of Towers of Doom.
Right? I mean, I think that was the number 4 map, if I'm remembering correctly. Hold on, I'm checking. No, Towers of Doom was number 5. Dragonshire was number 4. Okay. And only 2 Cursed Hollow maps, which I expected more Cursed Hollow maps.
Nah, I don't think we'll see much of Cursed Hollow at all. I mean, we'll probably see it get banned, or people just not picking it. Cursed Hollow is too...
It just surprised me. It surprised me. Because so many teams at the Clashes were picking it, and now a lot of them have gone away from it.
Because, I mean, Cursed Hollow only works if you have Hans on your team. It's nice.
All right.
I mean, okay, I'm not going to say it only works if you have your team, but if Hans is on your team, it's nice. But if he gets banned out, then you got to probably deal with cheese, and I don't know. It's just...
Well, you know what? Speaking of Hanzo, the top win rate with at least 8 games, Hanzo's sitting in the top with a 73% win rate. Jaina making a hard appearance now at a 72% win rate. ETC was 70, Li Ming was 69, and Maiev was 66. To be fair to Maiev, he's banned a lot, like 60% ban rate on Maiev. In fact, as I was recording drafts for our spreadsheets to make life easier on our writers, it shocked me when Maiev wasn't banned first, because it was a lot of bans.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to go back to the top 3 maps.
Yeah. Go ahead. No,
to give my perspective as to why I think they're picked.
Share with the group.
I was saying this earlier. They're pretty standard 3-lane maps. Focus. There is strong rotational focus and a strong solo lane presence there. And then you skirmish, sustain, and fight over an objective, over a point. it's like, okay, we're going to play our macro game, try to beat you there, try to beat you in rotations. And then when it comes down to it, we're going to try to beat you in a fight. And then take this objective and then try to extend our lead that way. Try to snowball that way.
Right.
It allows you to have more control of the game flow. They're not too terribly. I mean, I guess you could say Volsky is kind of snowbally, but if both teams know what they're doing, they can kind of.
Well, Shrines can be snowbally too, right? So can Spider Queen.
It could. It could.
Right? Spider Queen's like back-to-back second turn in, and that game is over, and you just roll.
A lot of guys like Shrines because there's so many different ways you can win the game and so many different ways you can play that map.
But when you have a lot of teams of arguably equal caliber, right? Like these are all
right,
teams.
Right.
Like the games, they're interesting. Like you start playing mind games with one another. Your drafts are very methodical. They're very well thought out. So I don't know. Like, if it's my team league game with my buddy or like quick match, the other team has all 5 specialists and I have 5 Li Mings, then on 2 at Spider Queen, then we're probably gonna lose, right? But
right.
But yeah, so very pretty. I think at this point, Volskaya is a standard map. Safe to say, very standard strategy there. And you fight on a point, and that and there's items, and if you can snowball, you can snowball. If you can't, it's a good game. So,
right, okay. I'm just answering something in chat. Dubber Ducky pointed out that I think it was Dubber Ducky. Where was that? No, Mikion is Vala being run against Tracer because of Gloom at 13. Less than half of the Vala games have been against a Tracer so far.
I think Gloom on 13. Side note: Gloom on 13 on Vala is like too good. A lot of people go Siphoning Arrow, but Gloom is
sick. I like Gloom.
You should be taking it.
All right, so let's hit the top 3 KDA players. This surprised me. So Tist with a 27.8 KDA. That's high. Sake with a 23.7 and Reset with a 19.1. What does that tell you when that's 3 Korean players all knocking out the top KDAs right now?
They're really good.
That tells me that Genji is playing at an exceptionally high level right now. Because if you remember correctly, Fnatic had a similar KDA in Europe during the HGC Phase 2 when they were just absolutely blowing people away. So if you are the winning team, you typically are also getting more kills than your opponent and dying less than your opponent. Remember, what was it, Breeze, who had I can't remember if it was the second clash or if it was Midseason Brawl where he only died like twice and had
it was Midseason Brawl last year, I think.
KDA.
Yeah, it was insane. It was insane.
So being on the best team in the tournament does factor into those KDAs a little bit.
Well, yes, right.
But it's more indicative of the team as a whole is just playing out of this world really, really well. It was Western Clash too. Okay, there you go.
All right, yeah, that was the one. That was the one.
Argus got me.
Yep.
So that's what I was remembering. It was like Fnatic was just playing exceptionally well at one point, and all the players on their team had the highest KDAs. So,
all right, so let's jump into some hero pools. Widest hero pool is going to be SDE on Ballistics. 11 heroes in 11 different matches. That's pretty impressive. And then widest hero pool by team, Mindfreak coming in at a whopping 32. Ballistics not far behind at 30. Ballistics and CE, I'm sorry. Both, oh, Jesus, I can read. And the one. 3 teams tied in second place with 30 heroes apiece played there. A lot. That's a big range. Like these drafts, there were some crazy drafts, there were some different drafts, and there were a lot of heroes being picked up. Speaking of some unexpected heroes, this surprised me. And we can dig into why, but Vala coming out after like everybody's poo-pooed Vala for months, right? Hanzo's better than Vala. You don't need Vala anymore. Hanzo does it all better. We saw a number of Vala games. A couple of Hammer games. I know those were one-offs. Don't play Hammer just because Rich played Hammer. Don't do that.
Oh,
yes.
You don't even know what's about to happen in these after show games.
Tassadar being back is a good reason why. Yeah, I agree. But we got Valera games, which made me ecstatic because Valera is my boo. And then we also got some, like, Johanna seems to be up and coming now again. To the point she got banned.
Yeah, she got banned. I mean, Johanna, she has some good things. Like if you have, very high damage target focus composition, but you still need to wave clear. Hey, you've got Johanna. She can set up some kills. She can disrupt the enemy team, wave clear, things like that. What I want to say is Murden, baby. Murden is back. He is back. And I love it. Like he always pops up at these lands. Like he'll come out every once in a while. But it's in these blow up style composition. He dwarf tosses in, gets a storm bolt. Here's a bunch of CC behind it, or a bunch of damage behind it.
Yeah.
If he takes a lot of damage, I pressed R, my health bar is back. And
right,
I'm gonna sit there wailing on you, and then I'm gonna jump away and I'm gonna hit you again with another storm bolt. Oh, you want to make this rotation? Guess what? There's a Murd in here. He's just gonna hit you with the storm bolt. I love seeing Murden play, and I'm glad to see him have a high price. I don't know what his win rate is, but he's been playing.
Murden's win rate right now is 37%.
Dang.
Yeah, it's pretty low. Good. It's pretty
Not
low.
That good.
I think it's fun, man. It's fun.
He's actually tied with someone who we all thought we would see a lot of. Diablo also has a 37% win rate. In fact, the only tank warrior who has a worse win rate is Varian with a 16%. Varian sucked at this tournament so far.
Hey, when he won, it looked good.
Yeah, the one game he won.
Yeah, so and that just goes to show, honestly, like where you draft the Varian, how you go.
That's
watch
fair.
That game.
That's fair. No, you're right. You are right. You are right. I know what you're saying.
Nobody has watched it. It's Tempo Storm Cattle plays the Varian there against Mind Freak, right?
I think so. I'm looking for it. Yeah. Tempo against Mind Freak
with the Tracer on Tomb of Spider Queen.
Yep.
Go watch how that draft played out.
Yeah.
And then see where the Varian fits and see what the rest of Tempo Storm's draft looked like. And then go watch the other Variant.
The other Variant games were not the same.
You don't even have to watch the game. Just look at the draft.
Yeah.
And then you can see, okay.
Yeah. You absolutely can. No, you're 100% right. You are 100% right. What do you think happened to Diablo? I'm wearing my Diablo shirt, for God's sakes. What do you think happened to Diablo?
I think Diablo, it's another one of those, you need to understand when you can use him, how to play him. And also, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, maybe it was last week, where we said, hey, we were playing on this patch, but Lightning Breath is banned. Nobody plays him. Oh, Lightning Breath is back.
Right.
Nobody still played him. And they're like, maybe we won't play with Diablo.
I mean, he only had, he played 8 games and won 3 of them.
Go look at, if you're going to watch a Diablo game and the draft, look at Heroes Hearth on Volskaya Foundry against,
that was a good one.
Tempest or Ballistics?
I think it was Tempest, because Ballistics is in the other group.
Yes.
Let me check, though. I'm checking right now for you.
And just watch how Diablo is played there and look at that Lightning Breath value, baby. It was good. Was that,
that was the Tempest one or Dig? They drafted him in Tempest and the Dig game. But they won the Tempest game. So and looking at the drafts, it's the Tempest game I think you want people to watch.
That was, the Tempest game. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Heroes Hearth versus Tempest on Volskaya Foundry. And look where Diablo is picked.
Yeah.
I was thinking of another hero there, but then I was like, when
it worked though. Like, it totally made sense and it worked there. Yeah. So it's been an interesting. I think the important thing that I was trying to point out is it's been a very interesting meta. We have had 55 of 79 heroes picked.
A lot of heroes, man. A lot of heroes and different builds and styles and hey.
We got that last year too. I think if I remember correctly, last year, almost all of it was like 4 or 5 heroes that weren't seen, but pretty much almost saw all of them, which is great.
So there were 2 heroes that's 3 heroes that surprised me that we haven't seen. We haven't seen a medic, we haven't seen a Kel'Thuzad, and we haven't seen a diva. And I thought we would see those 3 heroes.
Really?
That's a good point.
I don't think we would have ever seen a medic ever.
You think? You think? I mean, it wasn't that long ago when she was still getting picked up.
There's too many
better heroes.
There's too many. No. I don't say there's too many better heroes. There's too many Genjis, Maevs, Murden. There's too many.
Okay, yeah. There's too much dive.
Those heroes. There's too many of those heroes up there that can punish a Morales pick.
All right, that's fair. I can accept that one.
I thought we would see more Lucio.
Yeah, Lucio didn't get a lot of play
because 0 ping Lucio, 0 ping Boops. Like
he's got 100% win rate, but that's because he was only in 1 game. And on the flip side, Lily's got 100% loss rate because she was only in 1 game.
Yeah.
In Samuro, I feel like there wasn't enough Battlefield of Eternity for us to see a Samuro game.
I'd agree.
Yeah, or Black Hearts Bay.
Well, yeah. But I feel like if we'd gotten more BOE, we probably would have seen at least 1 Samuro game. And we didn't. So.
Yeah, what else am I feel like I'm missing something else. We saw Narthis, right?
We did see an Arthas, yes. We definitely saw an Arthas. Well, I can tell you, it's not that many. Well, I'm just going to blast through the list of heroes we haven't seen, and then we'll jump into our previews.
I mean, the obvious ones. Like, I don't care about guys.
All right, well, like, I thought we might see an Ana, because she's still interesting. Brightwing. We didn't see any Brightwing.
No Brightwing, yeah.
I still think it's weird we didn't see Kel'Thuzad. Let's see. We didn't see any Rexar, which every once in a while on Braxis we'll see a Rexar. We also, Argy's right, we didn't see a Raynor, which does come out from time to time, especially with China around. We didn't see Samuro.
No Ragnaros.
No, yeah, but Rag's been weak lately. Like
no Ragnaros, yeah.
Rag really only pops up. It's only really been EU lately, and even that towards the end of phase 1. He started to disappear.
Yeah, no Rag. I mean,
I thought we'd see a Vikings game on some of the Sky Temple maps. There were some drafts that looked like they could have worked really well with Vikings, but that didn't happen. And Zul'Jin. There are times where he fit. There are times where he would have been an okay. Like, he would have been interchangeable with the last pick.
I guess it just depends on, does the enemy team have a Maiev? Do they have a Genji? Do they have a Diablo? Do they have a Nubarak? That is my... If I see a Genji, and rule of thumb, guys, if you see a Genji on the enemy team in Hero League, unranked, whatever, do not pick Zul'Jin. If you see a Chromie, do not pick Zul'Jin.
But here's the thing, right? So Genji... And yeah, you're right. In most of these cases, there are stronger heroes than them. That's 100% true. But there were 26 bans on Genji. So there were games where Zul'Jin could have worked better than a hero they had picked.
I mean, and then in that case, is Hanzo off the table as well? Vala?
Right.
How many Lunara games have we seen
let's see.
Tournament?
Lunara games, we are sitting at
2.
Nope, we're sitting at 7.
5, 7.
I thought we'd see more Lunara, but I think with the amount of maybe Malfurion running around,
yeah, there was a lot of. Well, there were a lot of Malfurion bans too.
Yeah, Stukov.
Stukov and Malfurion.
We're seeing a lot of Uther. So like we did see some Lunara versus.
We saw Lunara into Luther, or into. We saw Uther into Lunara. I mean, Which there was one of the Korean teams, and that man, it was like day 2, and all you had was Tetcher saying, yeah, they win because he's on Uther, and
that was on
Tempest, wasn't it?
I think that was on Infernal Shrines, and was it Tempos? No,
I thought it was Hyde. I thought it was Hyde has Uther, you lose.
Yeah. I remember they said that, but there was a Lunar on the other side.
Right,
I don't remember.
And they won anyway. I don't know. I think it was Tempest, though.
Did they win?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they won. All right, we
Anyways,
guys, check out MasterLeague.net. These are the discussions you can have with your friends. Like, there's so many stats you can dig into. Like, we legitimately could probably do 2 hours just going into various heroes and why they were picked and why they weren't picked. And we might end up doing that at some point. Maybe in the week after midseason brawl when there's no games going on. But for now, let's jump into the preview and talk about that a little bit, shall we?
All right.
So the bracket's up. There's going to be some good games. Genji Dig. We're going to start up top. Going into the biggin. Genji Dig. I mean, I know what I think, but
Genji, obviously, but
it's kind of funny how the results in the group stage panned out, because you would have expected Dignitas to be meeting Genji in the winners finals.
Right.
Yeah. Coming out of Group B as the number 2 team, they're forced to play in the semifinals, and based on what we saw, I agree with Goon. It's going to be Genji. I just wish we would have saved this for later.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Here's where I'm at. Overall, I'm just going to throw this out there now. It's a Korean upper final and it's a Korean grand final.
Yikes.
That's where but let's go through the rest of them, because I think Genji wins there. The other upper bracket semifinal is Tempest versus Tempo Storm. Tempo Storm looks amazing. Tempo Storm isn't getting by Tempest, who at one point was sponsored by Tempo Storm back in 2016, I think.
I'm going with Tempo Storm on this one.
All right.
I am too. And here's why. So Tempest has looked very good. Tempo Storm has looked also really good. My logic behind my pick is that Tempest dropped a game against Heroes Hearth. Tempo Storm was able to beat Ballistics handily 2-0. They were very, very competitive against Genji. I think Tempo Storm is part of us, a lot of the viewership might still be feeling that NA bias, where NA is just not as good as Korea. I think Tempo Storm's a better team than Tempest, despite how well DirecTV Tempest is playing right now.
Okay,
so
all right. I sense a bet in the future. Future.
Well, it's you versus me and Goon, so
that's fine. Fine.
I'm going Tempo Storm over Tempest here.
Okay.
Tempo Storm's schedule early on was rough. It was tough. Like, considering those things, man, damn, they look good. Like,
okay. All right.
I think on even footing here, we're going into this. Tempo Storm is gonna. I'm following my heart, man. I'm following my heart.
That's fair. All right. So we may decide off camera, but I'm willing to bet both of you that Tempest beats Tempo Storm in that Saturday 1:45 p.m. game. I will take that. In fact, I'm going to take what Argy just said a step further. If Tempo Storm wins, I will buy all 3 of you a beer at BlizzCon.
Oh.
But if Tempest wins, all 3 of you have to buy me a beer at BlizzCon.
LiQuid's about to be fucked up.
That's
okay.
Are you? I mean, like it's a beer each, right? Like
I accept the bet.
I accept that bet.
All right,
I accept that bet.
All right, so that's what we're doing. All right, cool.
Okay,
right.
I was gonna say we'll do this off camera. We'll do this off camera.
Yeah. All right, let's go lower bracket. Lower bracket here. Jesus, 4 a.m. on Saturday is rough. Ballistics versus Heroes Hearth eSports. Winner of that. Who you guys got?
That's tough.
It's tough because I know where my heart lies.
Yes. I think Heroes Hearth can pull this off.
They have to make some adjustments, some serious adjustments, but and I'm sure they can. However, I think Ballistics. Damn, you know what? No, I'm going Heroes Hearth.
Argy throwing down that 3-0 Ballistics, though, man. Dorsch too. Dorsch Ballistics wins. You know what? Look, I think Ballistics has looked good, but they've struggled. I think
it's just gonna take one game. Like Heroes Hearth is just gonna have like one game where they just like somehow are just they're doing well. And then Ballistics you're gonna have that SC Hanzo Dragon Arrow that flies through. Everybody splits. He misses. He play the game, comes out, gets killed, and then that just like destroys their mentality for the rest of the series. And Heroes Hearth is able to win. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back today. Go back and watch that game, Tempo Storm versus Ballistics.
I think
I am leaning Ballistics, and my thinking is Ballistics is a very macro oriented team. When they play Tempest, traditionally they have shown very well against Tempest because they play keep away. They avoid team fights because Tempest is known for their team fighting prowess, and they just play the macro game, and force them into submission. And I could see a similar situation happening when they play Heroes Hearth. Could be wrong, and I want Heroes Hearth to win, but I think I'm going to lean towards Ballistics in this one. And it's a shame because I think if Heroes Hearth can get through Ballistics, I mean, I don't know if they could make it to losers round 3, but I think that they might go for a run.
Okay, so let's talk about this a little bit more because I think this is probably going to be the most. This is going to be the one that we discuss probably the most when it comes to predictions. I think so. Here's the thing. I personally think Heroes Hearth was hiding things and not showing everything that they have in their pocket. Right? I think they got a little over ambitious and maybe saved a little too much, which put them into the spot that they're in now. But I think they have enough tools and enough quality that they can beat Ballistics. And they can then turn around and beat Tempo Storm. Is it Tempo dropping into that one or the other one? So it's gotta be Dig. All right, so I think they can get by. I think the team as a whole understands what they need to do. I think Cawthon is a smart guy who's probably got all sorts of reasons why they played the way they played. I think they can beat Ballistics. I think after that, they're going to struggle. I don't think they can beat Dig. I think Dig is better than Ballistics. And I don't think Heroes Hearth can beat Dig. I really don't want to say that, but I don't think they can.
Yeah, okay. I agree with that.
Method Fnatic is the next one up.
Oh my god, this is gonna be a feed fest. This is gonna be
it's a feed fiesta. We're in the next Mania. Oh
man, feed fiesta. Yes, I honestly do not know how this is gonna pan out. And I'm not saying like these are two powerhouses battling it out. It's just two really inconsistent teams duking it out as their this is the last time that these rosters are going to be playing together for a while, for the rest of the year. Ever, potentially, right? Unless they meet in the future again. But it's going to be wild. It's just going to be wild games. And because of how wild they're going to be, I cannot make a prediction. If I had to make a prediction, it's going to come down to, I think Method 3-2.
I think Method wins. I would agree with that.
And the reason I say Method 3-2 is because of two things. The Bad Benny factor, the Quack factor. The Quack fact. Quacknix has to play out of his mind to make up for the Bad Benny feeds, and Bad Benny cannot feed so that Quacknix can make the plays that he needs to.
Oh, Bad Benny's going to feed, so it's not going to matter.
So,
all right. Okay. Bahgz?
Method and Fnatic. It's hard to believe that we've gotten here to where it's like that. It's competitive. Fnatic has handily finished in second place in the EU this year, but they just have done it so, I don't know how to explain it, so unconvincingly. Method has disappointed because it was a team with a lot of potential, right? I think I'm going to go with Goon on this as well. Method has, in the group stage, I think, played better, played more convincingly. So I'm going to go with the team that is hotter. Let's put it that way. I'm going to go. That's the route I'm going to go.
I agree. I think Method wins. I agree.
do you? I mean, 3-0, 3-1,
3-1.
I think it's really competitive. It's either 3-1 or 3-2. I think it's very.
It won't be it won't be a sweep. 3-1 or 3-2. But either way, they'll be competitive. But Method will win. All right. So Argy pointed out that the top winner should go to the bottom bracket, and the bottom winner should go, or the top loser should go to the bottom bracket. The bottom loser goes to the top bracket in the lower bracket, which is really weird, but it's okay. That's how they do things. He's right. Looking back at old tournaments, that's how they do it. I still don't understand why, but whatevs. So let's just say we all agree Dig is going down.
So Dig would face, like, if Dig
goes down to Method Fnatic.
They would face the other EU team. Yeah, that's how it was in Clash too.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, interesting.
Right.
Okay.
So
That's wild.
So Dig drops to the bottom, right? I think we can all agree that Dig wins that. I don't think either Method or Fnatic can beat Dig.
I agree.
Bahgz?
We were all in agreement, right? So Dig is down there. So yeah, I'd agree. I think Dig automatically pushes to losers round 3.
Okay.
So the question is, we were split on Tempest and Tempo Storm, right?
But well, the point I was gonna make is I don't think either Heroes Hearth or Ballistics gets by whoever's down there at that point.
You don't think Heroes Hearth could beat Tempo Storm?
No.
They did. Now, as a reminder, they beat him at the end of Phase 1. Now, maybe it was a match that didn't matter so much to Tempo Storm.
I think Heroes Hearth.
I can't remember if their seed was locked at the time or not. But
Tempo Storm's in land mode, right? And
yes, that. Like, I love Heroes Hearth. I've like 4 or 5 times on this show, this particular episode, I've said Tempo Storm is not my NA team. Heroes Hearth is, okay? It's clear that that's my team. I love those guys, okay? They're not getting past whoever the next opponent is. It'll be great. It would be great to see HHE Tempo Storm. That would make my 4 a.m. Sunday, because I got to get up at 4 a.m. to watch that game live. That would be amazing. I don't think they get past them.
They can. I think Heroes Hearth has. They can beat Tempo Storm. We've seen it. They can definitely do it. I don't think it's going to happen here.
Right.
If it comes down to that.
What if it's Ballistics versus Tempo Storm round 3?
Tempo. It's going to be a good set.
Tempo wins that round, period.
Round 3.
If I believe if Tempo or Tempest is in that Sunday 4 a.m. Eastern game, either of those two teams from the upper bracket wins that lower bracket game. Either of them.
So Goon, what do you think? Since you and I are both in agreement that Tempest is going to be in that game, what do you think? Can either Ballistics or Heroes Hearth beat Tempest? Because honestly, like, how I feel about Heroes Hearth potentially beating Tempo Storm in that round because of their familiarity with each other, I feel the same way about Ballistics beating Tempest.
Yeah.
It would be close, but I don't think they could do it.
Could Heroes Hearth beat Tempest?
That's the spicier question.
That's the question, right?
They split in the group stage. I think it would be a hell of a series, but I'd probably lean towards Tempest because of LAN experience.
I would lean towards Tempest, but my heart obviously goes Heroes Hearth. If that was Ballistics, I think Ballistics would actually come out on top.
I agree.
I think all right. Let's assume that I'm buying you guys beer. And it's Tempo Storm down, or it's Tempest down there, okay? Unless Ballistics does something, if Ballistics plays the way they played in the group stage and Tempest plays the way they played in the group stage, there's no way Ballistics beats Tempest there. It's just period. There's no way. Like the Ballistics we saw over the last 5 days is not beating the Tempest we saw over the last 5 days.
Playoff buff.
That's fine. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, but I think Ballistics versus Tempest would be an incredible game to see that Sunday. I think Heroes Hearth versus Tempo Storm would be an incredible game that Sunday. Yeah. I think any other combination is just not.
Of what happens here, really, I think regardless of what happens, it's gonna be a good game on Monday at 4 a.m.
I think Ballistics versus Tempo Storm is not a good game. I think Tempo Storm 3-0s them.
Really? No,
yeah.
I think it'd be.
Dude, you are wild, dude. You're about to be 3 years.
I'm like, you know what? Here's the problem. I'm like really down on Ballistics. That's my problem right now. I'm like so down on Ballistics. I don't know what's going on.
Oh man.
The mentality changes here. The mentality is.
No, you're right. You're right. Well, Saturday will tell us a lot about how the Sunday games are going to go. We'll be able to tell where Ballistics' mentality is at.
Let's keep pushing forward. So
all right, let's go forward. So all right, so
losers round 3. Let's talk about that.
So we have Dig going in. Dig is there.
For sure. We have a consensus on that. We have a mix of people making it there from
the top bracket.
From the top and Ballistics Heroes.
Right.
Dig beats whoever they face there. Yes or no?
Whoever they face there.
If Tempest is there, if I got it wrong and Tempest is there, I'm not 100% sold on that.
I'm of the opinion that Dig has righted the ship and playoff Dig comes out. And if they're facing Tempest there, Tempo Storm, Ballistics, or Heroes Hearth, I don't care.
If Dig is playing a team... If Dig is playing a team that starts with the letter T, it's going to be an interesting match.
Okay.
If Dig is playing anybody there, they win, and Tempo Storm wins.
Ooh.
I think Tempest or I think Tempest or Tempo Storm could get past Dig. I think either of them have the ability to do it. That's why I said the letter T.
I think Tempo Storm bodies them in that game. All right.
So you're already admitting that I'm right and Tempest is going to win the upper bracket game then.
I'm just saying if it gets to that, if that happens.
All right. Okay.
So
either whatever happens, this bracket, Dignitas and Tempo Storm are playing and Tempo Storm's winning. I don't care if that's the grand final or if that's
the grand final. What?
Yes, dude. Come on.
Oh my god.
Dude, listen to your heart.
All right.
Winners finals. So Gen G versus Tempest or Tempo Storm. Gen G wins. Goes to grand finals.
Gen G wins.
Gen G wins that.
They're in. Grand finals. Look, Rich. Someone needs to poison Rich for that to change.
Oh no!
Please don't do that. Rich is a treasure. But the only way Gen G goes is like Dorshed. Reyna gets Gen G completely drunk. And like Vegas, what was it? The wedding movie where they all go on like that 3-day bender.
The Hangover.
Yes, the Hangover style. That's the only way. That's the only way.
Dude. All right.
So Gen G's through.
Losers finals. We've got.
There's a collection of teams, man.
There's 5
Dignitas.
teams. There's 5 teams that we're debating, right? Like
there's really not. It's Dig, and then on the other side is Tempest or Tempo Storm. Like that's all it is.
Of those 3, pick one. We'll go round table. Pick one to go to the grand finals.
I already said all Korean grand finals, so my pick is made.
LiQiuD's Tempest. Goon.
Tempo Storm.
I'm Dig. We are divided.
All right.
Wow.
Tempo Storm.
Wow.
Tempo Storm.
Okay. All right. Jeez.
I mean, Tempo Storm's knocking Genji out, right? To the loser bracket.
See, Soken's got my back. Dig versus Tempest in the losers final. Genji versus Tempest in the grand finals. What's up, boys? Soken and me, we got it going.
All right. So grand finals, roundtable one last time before we wrap up the show. Genji or the field?
Genji wins.
The Goon.
Tempo Storm.
Wait, you think Tempo Storm takes the grand finals?
He's listening to his heart.
Wow!
He picked it last week, and he's sticking with it now that they're shown.
All right.
I'm staying with it. I'm staying with it. Why would I betray my heart?
Dude,
why would I betray my heart? I feel this. Tempo Storm struck me with lightning, and I feel it, dude. Like it. Last week I was saying NA's gonna make a splash.
You were.
Last week I went with Dignitas. Genji has me very, very scared of that pick, but I'm sticking with it. I'm going Dignitas here.
What?
Feeling it. Yep.
Oh my god! What is happening?
You know. Initially, I was like, you know what, Dignitas is gonna go away, but I'm thoroughly convinced that NA can do it.
All right, so
I think Genji's gonna mess up somewhere, man. I honestly think they're gonna mess up somewhere.
If Tempo Storm wins the midseason brawl, we need to have a parade in like Washington D.C. or something.
Just so we're all on the same page, right?
It's gonna be huge.
Just so we're all on the same page, then. If I'm hearing what you guys have said and understanding what you've picked,
yes.
Neither one of you believes Genji is gonna win the grand finals.
That is correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Okay. I don't think there's anything else left to say here, man. All right.
Y'all can throw shade at me as much as you want, but I'm gonna go with my heart.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Listen.
No, I'm talking to chat. I'm talking to chat.
I gotta support you. If there's one thing I've learned this week is that sometimes to have a good show, you got to go with your heart, whether or not you think you're gonna get the win. You know, sometimes that's the choice you got to make. I love you, Skimmy. All right, let's talk amateur scene just for a minute because there's not a whole lot of stuff going on there, but let's talk that. So we're obviously in a lull right now between open division seasons. They won't start until after all the teams are back. So we have just a little bit of stuff going on. NGS is currently running their playoffs. Definitely check those out. A variety of streamers are streaming the various NGS playoff games. There's some good teams out there. And then also, Heroes Hype running their amateur series on Monday nights until the open division returns. So definitely check that out as well. That can be found twitch.tv/Heroes Hype on Monday nights. Same time the NA Open Division is normally at, which I think, if I remember correctly, is 9 Eastern. So definitely check that out as well. All right. Any amateur stuff you want to share with us, Goon, other than those things?
Here's Hype Monday nights starting at 6 p.m. Pacific. Hey, if you got some buddies that want to play in a competitive format, go play.
Ooh,
that's 32 team.
Sorry, go ahead. I was just gonna say that's a good point because you can sign up. You don't even need a full team. They have free agents. You can sign up as a free agent.
Completely free. Go play, and you might play against some really good players. 32 teams is the cap. And I think last week there was like 13 teams or something, 12 teams. This past Monday, there wasn't a whole lot. I want to shout out my boys at Reborn. They went up, kicked some ass, showed everybody what they're made of, and look good feeding. So, yeah,
awesome. All right, so it was a fun episode. I always like talking tournaments. We don't get enough lands in Heroes of the Storm, in my opinion.
not. It was a lot of fun. I agree.
But that was fun. Even though we started late. Sorry, chat. We started late. I think we're gonna end it here, unless anybody has any last-minute Hail Marys they want to throw. I'm looking at you, Goon.
Tempo Storm Heroes Hearth Grand Final.
Oh, there's no way, bro.
I'm just messing. Hey guys, if you're out there, remember, follow your heart, follow your dreams. Don't let anything get in the way. I don't care. I don't care if it's a #1 Korean C team or not. Just, hey, have fun. Have fun with it.
Have fun. Yeah. No, you're 100% right. All right. Thank you all for listening to Trollin HGC, a weekly podcast about Heroes of the Storm eSports, a member of the Trolls.gg Entertainment Network. We stream live on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/TrollsGG, every week on Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, unless there are special cases like today where we wanted to completely cover all of the mid-season Brawl group stage. Bahgz, where can people find you?
Guys, you can follow me on Twitter at BahgzHGC. You can watch me stream on twitch.tv/Bahgz. As well, if you enjoyed tonight's show and are interested in Blizzard's other esports offerings, consider subscribing to the Weekly Blizz on all your podcast sources, where my buddy Bahgz and I cover all of Blizzard esports. Also, look out. Tonight, we're doing some after-show games in-game. So log into Heroes/TrollsGG or join our Discord to get in on those after-show games. Goon, where can people find you?
Before that, sorry, somebody in chat asked a really important question. Who's casting the grand finals?
Caldor and Trixler.
No.
Whoa. Okay.
It'll be I think Caldor will be there. I think it'll either be Caldor, LiQiuD, or Caldor Dreadnought. I personally think Caldor Dreadnought is the best combination of who they have.
I've got a good one.
Gilly and Caldor is also good. Gilly and Dread is also good. Like they're all good, right? Like I'm not trying to say any of them are not good, but I think the best casters you can get in that grand final situation are probably Caldor Dreadnought, with Jay Howe working the replays.
I'm gonna say Caleris Dreadnought. I think Caleris is gonna cast.
That would surprise me. I would love to
spicy.
see Caleris cast because he did a great job covering EU until Caldor made it, got his visa worked out and moved. I think Caleris is a great caster. I love watching
his StarCraft casts were the best.
Yes. No, he's great. But I feel like he's out of I feel like a grand final game, you need to have that rhythm already built with your co-caster. And so I don't think he'll have that.
I think Caleris is just that good.
I agree that he is, right? But I think I'm not trying to imply that. I'm sorry. I should point out, I don't think he doesn't have that. I think from Blizzard's point of view, because he hasn't been casting, they will be worried about the synergy and may not put that together. That would be awesome, though.
My second bet would be Gilly Dreadnought again, as usual. That's probably what it's gonna be. But anyways,
yeah, like that totally derailed us. No, I actually like Gilly Dread, but but who I'm trying to think. BlizzCon finals last year, the grand final, it was Gilly Dread, but they had already been casting together for the whole year, and with Gilly leaving to do other things during this period, like I don't know, man. There are so many good choices. I actually think Skimmy and Wolf would be interesting too.
Wolf not so much. Skimmy, yes.
No, but Wolf because it's going to be an all-Korean grand final.
Oh, okay. Anyways, you guys can follow me on Twitter at GoonHots, GOON Hots, HOTS, twitch.tv/GoonHots. I will be streaming tonight, later. Come hang out, come say hi, come watch me play Urel and be pissed off at her kit. And Thursday nights, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, at 9 p.m. Eastern, you can catch me, Aramis, and Sokin on the Next Trolls podcast, where we talk all things Heroes of the Storm. We kind of dabble into HGC stuff from time to time, but it's mostly more so improving in the game, talking about the game, patches, different concepts, and
laying down challenges
for each other. It's a really good time, and we go into the late game. We need to work on that. I think the last episode was like 2 hours 10 minutes or something like that. But it was good. It was good. Come check it out. If you're interested. But yeah.
I will say that was the hardest thing I struggled with when I first started doing this, was keeping it on time. Our first episodes were way long, and it was like, no, we need to back it up. All right, you can follow me on Twitter at LiQuidGG. That's LiQiuDGG. I tweet whenever I'm going to do anything, including shows like this. Thank you all our Patreon supporters. If you enjoy the show, you can support us in a variety of ways, including Patreon. Follow us on Twitch. Subscribe to us on Twitch. Subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher. Leave us some feedback. We'd love to hear any feedback that you have for us, whether it's through one of those platforms, emailing us, trollin@trolls.gg, or DMing us, whether it's at Trollin HGC, whether it's DMing me directly at LiQuidGG. Anything works. We love your feedback, though. Finally, thanks to our chieftains, our OG chieftain, Super Dave, and Preston, our newest chieftain. Thank you both. We salute you. And we will see everyone else in the Nexus.
Peace out.